the Merovingian bloodline. The Merovingian bloodline comes into modern public attention with Dan Brown's silly thriller novel, The Da Vinci Code. While the book made history, it also made its so-called revelation, that Jesus Christ had a family, sound like it was a terribly guarded secret. Yawn. The truth is that history has always known that the Merovingian clan, and today literally millions of others, are related to the family of Jesus by being either his exact descendants or that of his half-brothers and sisters, uncles, aunts, and cousins. This was never a historical secret. Today there are literally millions, and honestly maybe billions, of descendants from the Merovingian royal family. So before you get too excited, understand that you are probably a member of this bloodline in some way, and so probably is your next-door neighbor too. Anciently, everybody wanted to be a relative of the Lord in some manner, particularly after millions embraced the Christian church body and believed in his ministry as the promised Messiah to all of Noah's bloodlines. When Christianity fully embraced the Greek language over the Hebrew, the word that was used to label the close family of Jesus Christ was the Desposyni, which literally means of the family of the Master. You don't have to take our word for that. Clear back in the 3rd century, Sextus Julius Africanus, an early Christian scholar, wrote about them saying that the blood family of Jesus Christ was still alive then, openly known, and still among the people. These are not hidden secret writings. You can go and read them yourself right now if you weren't so distracted by your former high school sweetheart's nephew's cousin's latest posting on Farcebook. You know the one where he shows you how many nachos folklorico he can shove in his mouth while not expanding his waistline. Wait till he's over 40. His metabolism will slow down too.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
You don't have to take Sextus's word for it either. The Bible clearly teaches of them and says that several were leaders in the church once they too accepted that their half-brother was the promised Son of God, just as their mother Mary had told them that he was. The Bible tells us that the Lord's half-brother James was an important Christian leader in Jerusalem, likely the bishop, and was killed by the Jews for his testimony. It is believed that Saul, who became Paul when he converted, assented to James's stoning. Historian Hegesippus confirms that James was executed by the Sanhedrin in 62 AD. It is believed that he was buried on Gamaliel's property after Gamaliel also converted, due likely to the testimony of Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, who were his friends and social equals. Gamaliel was one of the mentors of Saul, who converted to Paul. We also know that the Herods had the records of Jesus' personal family burned out of the civil records, not unlike Hitler did to his own in Germany. Herod wanted to remove any paper trail about the Desposyni. We could talk about this at great length, but have other names to summarize, so we'll come back to this at another time. But just know that many occultists want Merovingian blood.
In tropical climes there are certain times of day when all the citizens retire to take their clothes off and perspire. It's one of those rules the greatest fools obey, because the sun is far too sultry and one must avoid its ultraviolet ray. The natives grieve when the white men leave their huts, because they're obviously, definitely nuts. But mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday, 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 out in the midday sun.